Should I start my own business or get a job? This is Loral Langemeier. I'm going to tell you the differences and your choices. You're going to be shocked at what I'm going to tell you at the end, because if you have never been an entrepreneur, which I'd love to know, always put comments in this section below because I want to know more about you. Have you ever had a business? I'm sure you probably had jobs. And can you do both? So let's begin. We're going to talk about three things specifically in this topic. How do you evaluate the pros and cons of starting a business? So I want you to go in eyes wide open. Number two, how do you leverage the tax benefits and why you're going to want to start one? So I'm already leaning you to where I want you to go. And number three, the mistakes of replacing your whole salary. And how do you do that transition from employee to job? Or how do you stay in both and actually activate the best value for you and your family? So let's begin with the pros and cons of starting a business. So first of all, if you've never been trained as an entrepreneur, because as a world, not a nation, as a world, we're trained to be employees. This all began in 1933, and the industrial age happened, financial services worlds all started, employment started, school started, all of the system that you now know. It was not broke. It is not broke. It was built this way. So you can either be a victim and whine and cry about conspiracy theories and all these other things, or you can just say, this is the deck of cards we have here in the United States. If you're here, or whatever country you're in, here's how we play. Why starting a company is the best benefit of all? You activate the tax code. So what is starting a company? Well, what's the IRS say? You need a legal intent to make money. So what's your legal intent to make money? What's the product? What's the service? What's the problem you're going to solve? Again, I always offer people, they could become affiliate of mine. When I jumped out of my job at Chevron, I became essentially an affiliate. It wasn't a term at that point in 1996. Essentially, that's what I did. I sold the Rich Dad, Poor Dad brand. Then I had Bob Proctor's brand. I added Sandy Botkin's. I added Mark Victor Hansen. I had 18 brands that I was representing, just selling great success, money, finance topics. Then I started my financial coaching as another service. There was lots of ways to get in. There's direct sales companies. In fact, right now, I'm going to give you two links in the description below. One is askloral.com/cards. Super easy personal shopping gift site. You can become part of my team. The other one is switchaway.com/Loral, and that is selling very healthy US made home products, meats, amazing stuff for you and your family back at home. Easy. I'm in both of them. I do them all the time. They're direct sales companies. My point is, to start a company doesn't have to be a big sophisticated effort. You don't have to go write best-selling books. You don't have to do any of that. You need a legal intent to make money. So let's start with the simple stuff while I teach you to be an entrepreneur. So what does an entrepreneur need? You need to learn to market, sell, and understand cash flow. So what I want to do right now is I want to offer you 2 tickets to our Millionaire Intensive. It's a great place to start. It's a free 8-hour event. It happens every Thursday, 8 hours from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock Pacific. And we talk about what it takes to be a millionaire. Then we talk about the engines that drive businesses. What are the 2 systems you absolutely have to have and set up? And then we talk about you and how do you become an entrepreneur? How do you learn marketing? How do you understand sales? How do you understand cash flow? And then we give you an opportunity in a marketplace to actually practice and make some money. So I want you just to come out and see if you have some sort of interest in starting a company. Starting a company allows you to activate the greatest tax code. I call it living corporate life. So 81,000 pages of code. Your kids can work for the company. You start a Roth IRA from that. There are so many advantages. In fact, I'd say exclusive advantages to starting a company. So absolutely, I want you to start a company. Does it have to be a big, audacious one and have a lot of technology? No, I would do something simple, simple, simple. So you just get started. And do not, if you have a job, quit your job until you start making money. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you the formula on how to quit your job in less than 90 days and doing it my way, which is much safer. Because a lot of you, as you're learning to be an entrepreneur, you do need that employment income just to sustain bills and keep your sanity so you don't go into panic desperation that you're not making any money. So ideally, you're going to keep both for a while. Then when you learn to make money, you're going to drop the job and become an employee of your own company. That's the ideal path that we're going to walk you through. Again, I want you to really talk about point number 2, the benefits of starting a small business. At 18-year-old, in my Make Your Kids Millionaires book, I talk about getting your kid an LLC at 18. They're a legal adult. They now can activate the tax code. They can actually have educational benefits if they want to go to college. Their company can actually pay as part of their expenses in the resolution, they can have 100% reimbursement back to the education of the school of anything, including travel, that they can't write off, even if they have scholarships or grants to get to school. You have a lot of strategies to help your 18 to 22, 24-year-old kids get through that period debt-free, huge credit scores, and huge lines of access to credit by using corporate structure. But you got to get to my Millionaire Intensive and listen to it. If you can't go, buy the VIP. You'll get a bunch of replays from the past if you don't want to sit there for 8 hours. But call into our office. There's a link also below to talk to one of our strategists about this. We are the best team in the world to help you straddle, meaning keep a job and start a business, or do the transition from employment over to real income. I have another process I take you through where I guarantee you're going to make $100,000 in 1 year. That happens to 82% of the people who commit to that, as long as you do everything we say in the order we say it. I'm probably one of the only gurus who talks about this word called sequencing. The way you sequence yourself out of a job and into a business is essential. So before I continue with the last step and teach you how to get out of your job in 90 days and what number, not replacing your salary, what number you really need to focus on, I want you to subscribe to my channel, click that notification button, be here 5 days a week with you and your family. All of your kids at 5 years and older can be listening to this. It's family friendly. It's here for families. If you haven't got my Make Your Kids Millionaires book, go grab it. It's in a link below. And if you're really serious about bringing money into your household, then go grab my game as well. One of the mistakes of actually doing the straddle and then quitting is a lot of you have, I got to replace my salary. Now, for some of you, you have big salaries. Anything in the 6-figure range is going to take a little more strategy on how we're going to do it. But here's the real number. What do you bring home in a paycheck? Right? So let's just say you make 80,000. Well, realistically, you might bring home 5 a month, like in cash. What gets deposited, ACH'd into, or direct deposited into your bank account? So say that's 5,000. This company only needs to get to 2,500 because you're doing it part-time. So you're going to be working on the mornings, the lunches, after work. You're going to be working on the weekends, getting this company up to $2,500 a month, which is not a lot of money at all. Once you get there, then you consider quitting, because now you're going to take that 40, 50, 60 hours, depending on how much commute time you have, and you're going to apply it all to that business. Don't tell me that you can't make up the other 2,500. Most people who do this right skyrocket past the 5,000 and get to 7,500 to 10,000 a month in their new business. But it's got to be exactly the way we talk about it, the way we teach you about it, and the way we sequence you through it. So if you're interested in that, again, grab that strategy session. It's in the description below, and I'll see you at my Millionaire Intensive, where I'll teach you how to make some money and then make a decision on whether you're going to keep a job, start a company, or do both. If you have any questions, go to askloral.com. I'm there every day. My whole team's there 24/7, answering any questions. Make a request. What do you need? How can we help you? And we'll be back tomorrow.